It was very comfortable to be famous after LA Confidential. It was sort of, that was the sort of thing where all the cool kids saw that film. My mum and dad weren't in a great place, and I hadn't really spent a lot of time with them in the previous decade because I'd been out trying to establish who I was.
Before he found peace, there was chaos. Crowe grew up between Sydney and New Zealand, a child of showbiz parents who worked behind the camera. But as he grew older, fame called, and home faded away. "I hadn't spent much time with my mom and dad," he once admitted.
In the bush.
"I was too busy trying to prove who I was." So instead of buying a luxury apartment like other rising stars, he bought 100 acres of wild Australian bushland, a place his parents could start fresh, far from city lights. It was the first glimpse of the man who would later choose the wilderness over the world stage. The transformation began in 1992. At just 28, Crowe exploded onto the screen as the violent skinhead, Hando, in Romper Stomper. The performance was so raw, police actually followed him, thinking he might be as dangerous as the man he played. Director Jeffrey Wright remembered, Russell would vomit before takes, not out of fear, but pure, bottled fury. That energy launched him into Hollywood superstardom. By 1997, he was unstoppable. In LA Confidential, he played Detective Bud White, a man who fought with his fists more than words, and stole the spotlight from Kevin Spacey himself. Producer Curtis Hanson warned that Aussie's a live grenade with the pin out. Then came Gladiator in 2000. At 5 a.m. each morning, Crowe trained with real swords under the Maltese sun. When handed a rubber prop blade, he threw it into the sea. "Either it's real steel, or I walk," he growled. The studio gave in, and the rest is legend. 1 year later, A Beautiful Mind won him an Oscar. He rewrote his character's breakdown scene at 3 a.m., telling director Ron Howard, "The madness isn't in shouting. It's in silence." He was right, and Hollywood bowed to its new king. But as the spotlight grew brighter, his storms grew darker. Off camera, Crowe was as explosive as his roles. He fought with editors over lost footage, threw a phone at a hotel clerk in New York, and made headlines for all the wrong reasons. "I went nuclear," he told Letterman years later. His love life made just as many headlines. His affair with Meg Ryan on Proof of Life rocked Hollywood. But his real love story began when a Sydney bar singer, Danielle Spencer, accidentally spat beer on his shoe. "That's how I knew she was real," Crowe laughed on Oprah. Their marriage, divorce, and the infamous 2012 divorce auction became global tabloid gold. Crowe sold everything, from his Man of Steel armor to his Golden Globe, calling it a cleansing by fire. Even Kate Blanchett bought one of his jackets. "Relics or anchors," he said. "And I was tired of being anchored." Behind the chaos, there was compassion. During Master and Commander, he secretly paid for the cancer treatments of 3 crew members' children. He collected guitars, including a replica of Hendrix's burnt Stratocaster, and played nightly to calm his storms. By 2018, after 3 decades of fame, Crowe was done. He left his Sydney mansion and moved full-time to his farm in Nana Glen, 350 miles north, deep in the Australian countryside. "I realized my sons were growing up in hotels," he told The Guardian. "I wanted them to grow up knowing soil." Today, his property, once part of an old dairy empire, is home to 100 cattle, 300 sheep, and a herd of alpacas that he hand-feeds at dawn. Neighbors often spot him fixing fences in old flannel shirts or clearing fallen branches after storms. A local farmer recalled, "He once helped pull my truck out of the mud. Then asked about my daughter's cancer treatment." That's Russell. No cameras, no ego. Crowe's days now move with the rhythm of the land. Mornings at 5 a.m. feeding livestock, afternoons repairing barns he calls carpentry therapy. Evenings are for guitar sessions on the porch with his sons, Charles and Tennyson. His ex-wife says proudly, "The boys know more about animals than acting now." Charles even plans to become a veterinarian. Meals are simple, food from their garden, and one rule: no phones, just talk and stargazing. When floods hit New South Wales in 2022, Crowe used his bulldozer to clear roads for rescue teams. The Gladiator still fights, just different battles now. Retirement? Hardly. In 2022, Crowe directed Poker Face, filmed entirely within 50 miles of his farm. "We hired locals," he told Variety. "Taught kids camera work, Hollywood forgets film as a trade, not a temple. His blues album Indoor Garden Party was recorded in his converted barn. One of his bandmates said, he'd record vocals between mustering sheep. That gravel in his voice. That's real dust. He's even aging whiskey barrels on his property under the brand The Grounds, named after his great-grandfather's pub. As he told GQ Australia, the weather shapes the flavor, just like life. Now, he's writing a memoir titled Noise to Signal, set for release in 2025. It's said to reveal the truth behind his divorce auction and the rebirth that followed. When asked about aging in Hollywood, his words went viral. "Wrinkles are life's subtitles. My face tells my story now." He now lives by 3 rules. Fame is a rental car. You always return the keys. Give studios your work, not your soul. Plant trees that'll outlive you. He's lived by them, transforming his old family home in New Zealand into the Crow's Nest, a free film school for underprivileged teens. "We don't teach acting," he said. "We teach skills that feed families: lighting, editing, camera repair." One graduate now works for Netflix. He told me, "Be the grip, not the star. Stars burn out. Grips build worlds." He's also preserving Indigenous Australian languages through the Gumbaindeer Project, helping digitize ancient recordings of elders. "These voices," Crowe said, "will outlast any blockbuster." And of course, there's his lifelong love, the South Sydney Rabbitohs rugby team. As co-owner, he makes sure players serve their community first. "I want them cleaning graffiti, not signing autographs," he told reporters after their 2023 win. From New Zealand's shores to Rome's Colosseum and back to the quiet of Nana Glen, Russell Crowe has fought his greatest battles off-screen. He's learned what few ever do, that real strength isn't in the sword, but in knowing when to lay it down. As the kookaburras sing him home, the gladiator finally rests his shield. Who else do you think has walked away from Hollywood's glare to find peace? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you love stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless Hollywood stories, only here on Old Hollywood Unfolded.